All right. Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to kick off this last session. My name is Lauren Walden. I am a group director, client partner at Tinuiti, and I know that we are all that stands between you guys and cocktail hour, so I promise we will make this a great session, great discussion, or at the very least, a useful one around creative diversification, the algorithm, and how to maintain the integrity of your brand through it all. So joining me on stage today, we have Iqbal Brainch from Culligan. He's the VP of Marketing and Digital. We have Ashley Foster, the Creative Partnerships Lead at Meta. And of course, our very own Whitney Mortimer. She is our VP Executive Creative Director at Tinuiti. So we've all, as marketers, had that moment where we thought we had it. We knew exactly what was going on. We knew what creative to produce, how much to produce, how to produce it, and then an update comes. The algorithm changes a little bit, and there is a new pressure for brands to show up in new ways. And how do you maintain the integrity of your brand through all of that? And of course, what that means is right now, the creative has to appeal to both the humans that we are delivering it to, that we need to react to it, and the algorithm who has to, of course, deliver it to those humans. So we're going to look at that today through the lens of a specific business, through Culligan, the lens of Culligan, and how that business has had to evolve. So Iqbal, we want to set the stage, help everyone understand the evolution that Culligan has been navigating over the last several years, what changed about the consumer and the business that really forced this evolution.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren, for having me here. And thanks to everyone for joining today. I'm really excited to tell the Culligan story. We're a 90-year-old brand. And 4 years ago, I think I came to my first Tinuiti Live, and I was like, what? You guys do commercials? I saw the Brooks Brothers ad. I saw the Elf ad, and I was like, we want to do that. So just to give a quick background, Culligan services a lot of different areas of the globe, but what we really focus on is providing clean, contaminant-free water to consumers around the globe. We service 170 million consumers every year. And what's important behind all of that is by providing clean, contaminant-free water through our products, we eliminate the use of single-use plastics. And that is really important, not only to our consumers, but our partners. A couple of years ago, we got into a partnership with the United Center in Chicago, and they agreed to eliminate the sale of all single-use plastic water bottles. And we created these blue bottles that you all have, and those are the bottles that are sold now at the United Center. It's actually a business that's the only place that you can buy our bottles. But beyond that, what we do is we provide water, clean, contaminant-free water in offices, in your homes, and on the go. And so that takes the form of bottleless coolers in offices. In the homes, it takes the form of water softeners and water filtration systems. And also, we've got pitchers, Culligan zero water pitchers, which reduce all contaminants down to zero for a certain subset of our audience. So the problem that we came to Tinuiti last year with was how to reach these head of households. And we, through some persona work, identified this audience as the chief everything officer. In my home, it's my wife. It's the person that takes care of the kids, might have a career, is telling you when the kitchen needs to be remodeled. This is also the same person that controls or has an interest in providing great quality water in your home. So the real unlock and challenge for us was how do we reach this chief everything officer that's getting their information in all different channels, whether it's from TV with their favorite shows that they watch, on social media through Instagram or Facebook, And then just through chats, neighborhood chats, friend chats, we all do it. We all get information from channels across the board.
Yeah.
And so that's how we came to Tinuiti.
Yeah, and so the consumer needs a lot of flexibility, how they're getting their message. The brand needed to be more flexible, and the platform needs more volume, essentially. So what does that mean for the creative, how it was developed, once this evolution happened? What did that mean for the creative work, Whitney?
Yeah, so the way we were approaching creative in the past just could no longer function in the same way now. Based on the new algorithms and AI, you can't put out just perfectly polished brand creative and be extremely successful or hit your goals, which as a creative does hurt my soul a little bit. But we really needed to lean into the strategy, which is creative diversification. For those of you who don't know what creative diversification is, it is truly building a variety of creative executions that not only look different, but function differently as well. Whether that be from a differentiation of core messaging, media type, format, or style. The goal overall is not to abandon who Culligan was or what makes them who they are, rather to expand and show up in different ways for different people.
Right, so we're expanding the brand around this core message. For Culligan, it was this whole home core message that we needed to do. Ashley, when we think about that, why is this diversification, this expansion, so important within the strategy for Meta's algorithm?
So teams winning today aren't viewing creative as content. They're viewing it as a key signal to the platform. So they are blending their team's creative instincts and taste, along with deep customer knowledge, to enable a diversification strategy with the help of AI orchestration. Whitney nailed it. At Meta, creative diversification is building at the ad set level with assets that are conceptually distinct and come to life across a variety of ad types. And this is really important and critical to the success of your Meta campaigns, because our system is fueled by diversification. When you give us diversified assets, the algorithm can do what it does best, which is put the right ad in front of the right person at the right time. And that's not only good for your business, because you're seeing more efficient results, you're getting in front of untapped audiences, but it's also good for people. It means that they're seeing ads that are very relevant and aligned with their personal interests.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so not only is the algorithm changing, right? Iqbal touched on this before, what people expect from the algorithm is changing. How they are consuming and how they are engaging with the content is changing. So going back to Iqbal real quick, once you recognize that both the consumer and the business, the media landscape was changing, what did you need this next evolution of Culligan to accomplish?
Yeah, we really needed the campaign to frame up the solution in a way that consumers were thinking about it. Consumers aren't thinking about, oh, I need a water softener for my home. They're thinking, I want great quality water in my home, and that comes in the form of a water softener or a water filtration system, so you have great drinking water. And so it was really important for this campaign to address the entire home, the way that consumers are really seeking out our services.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that was the challenge, whole home campaign, and we grounded it in Hey Culligan. So Whitney, how did that platform, how did we solve for it creatively?
Well, our campaign concept was truly rooted in the simple human fact that the chief everything officer, which Iqbal just described, is really overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. Quick show of hands for all of you still paying attention and aren't ready for a cocktail yet. How many of you are the chief everything officer of your homes? That's a lot of people for those on the live stream. I'm not surprised based on this room of people. I too am the CEO of my household. And if you can really relate to this, is that when you're searching for a solution to your home, I mean, I could spiral all day looking for the right vacuum cleaner, right? Like, do I listen to the Reddit forum? Do I listen to what's on social media? Do I ask my friend group chat? The way we get information can be really overwhelming and consuming, and it's really hard to know what the right answer is. So that's when we took a step back and thought, you know, we live in this culture of haze, and there is a very iconic line from Culligan that might start with hey as well. So it's not hey Google, it's not hey Alexa, it's hey Culligan. And being able to use that really helped us reintroduce this truly iconic line from a brand full of heritage, and bring that through with technology as well as nostalgia, to be able to really position them as the answer to water problems throughout the home in a world full of noise.
So why don't we take a look and let's show them.
Hey, why are dishes always getting water spots?
From Culligan.com, hard water.
Hey, Mom, why is the water stinky again?
How do we stop this buildup?
Couldn't I just clean this?
Yeah.
Any recs for fixing water issues all over the house? Hey, Culligan.
Heard you got water problems. We got you covered.
Culligan makes it easy to get cleaner, safer water throughout your home. Questioning your water? Request your free at-home test at Culligan.com.
Now, in my entirely biased opinion, this is my favorite spot that we have done for Culligan. We were talking about that earlier today, but a 30-second spot does not make a campaign. That cannot be the whole thing, especially in today's world, in today's algorithm. So once we had this beautiful spot, how did you look at expanding that or diversifying it?
Great question, Lauren. Well, you're absolutely right. You can't take a really successful spot and just copy paste across all the different platforms or even just resize it. You have to truly root your strategies in diversification, and that's what we did on Meta. You can see some examples here. This is just a small snapshot of the different use cases we put together for this campaign. We're touching on all the different ways we seek answers and unique ways to make sure that we're targeting different people who may be like, oh, that's exactly what I see in my home, or my daughter does scream at me when her bathtub stinks. So what is those relatable moments where we can make those connections and micro moments outside of just that one core spot? And not all, we shouldn't just make creative for the sake of making creative or to hit a certain number or a quantity. The real goal in making that is to create signals for the Meta platform to be able to serve the right creative to the right person in the right time.
Right, exactly. So we had this great message. We had a way to diversify it and put it into all these different formats, serve it to the algorithm. But Iqbal, once we launched with it, what was that moment when you saw it working?
Yeah, across the board, performance has been great. I think, first off, our dealers love it, our franchise dealers, and that's really important to get our own internal buy-in on the campaign. Second, the performance, as I mentioned, the brand recall, the brand lift, we test everything. We put this through Kantar research, and it tested the highest of any Culligan campaign that we've seen historically, and off the charts in terms of their norms. So we knew that the campaign was working, but then in terms of actual performance, it's driving tremendous lead growth. We're now getting on the order of 25,000 leads a month and over 10,000 scheduled appointments a month from Culligan.com, which is just an enormous amount.
Exactly. And so we successfully put all of this diversity into the algorithm. We have the different messaging. The dealers are loving it. We're seeing the results. But Ashley, when we're listening to all of this, how is this strategy, this approach, comparing to what you're seeing across Meta? So let's take it into the more macro.
First, congratulations on these results. I love seeing numbers like this. I'm a creative gal, but I do like numbers. It really brings to life the importance of creative quality versus quantity, and the way in which you guys architected a system of ideas spotlights the three key components of diversification that we recommend all brands embrace when they have mid or lower funnel objectives. And that's starting with diversifying your visuals. So just leaning into a range of styles to bring your message to life, whether that is videography versus animation, creator, brand-led, UGC content. You don't have to do all of those things, but let your visual approach be inspired by your messaging strategy. And within your messaging, taking into consideration the full range of reasons why a person might be motivated to purchase a product or service. All of those unique avenues offer an opportunity to reach a new audience.
Yeah.
And then lastly, bringing all those to life, bringing your ideas to life through a mix of formats and placements. And that's just to ensure that you're showing up in all the places and spaces that your consumers are. Some people spend a lot of time on stories. Some people prefer stories and feed. Some people convert off of creator content. Some people convert off of dynamic ads. I convert off of all of them because I just love to shop. But the point is, again, you want to be in all of those places. And then across all three of these dimensions of diversification, the end goal is not to produce more assets, which I hope is really good news for everybody. It's to make sure you're meaningfully differentiating your assets, again, to just maximize your results.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also call out that with this diversified visual approach that we have to take, it does not mean that there is less cohesion than we're used to in a campaign, right? That brand, maintaining that brand integrity, the cohesion is still very, very important. So beyond that, Ashley, what is, as marketers are going about this, what is the biggest misconception or mistake, and how, more importantly, can the folks in this room avoid that?
I love this question. It is a hot topic at Meta. And I think it's really shown us the importance of creating a shared language with agencies and advertisers across creative repetition, creative iteration, and creative diversification. And this is really important because on the back end, our system is analyzing all of your campaign assets. And it's grouping together those that share key visuals, key thematic attributes. So when your ads are repetitive, which is the far left of the spectrum here, what's actually happening is those get grouped at a creative level. And essentially those assets are competing against one another for the same delivery in your campaign. It's stifling your performance and your reach. Now on the other end of the spectrum, diversification, of course, is the goal. Again, having a variety of visual styles, messaging, placements, formats, all of those things are working really hard to get you in front of not only the largest amount of eyes, but the right eyes and new eyes. And then somewhere, in between those two is iteration. And iteration, I think sometimes can feel like a dirty word. It's a really smart strategy. If you have a high-performing asset, you can take that and get a whole second life out of it. Say you have a static asset that just crushed it. Let's explore generative AI and add some light animation to it for video-first services like Reels. Iteration is really wonderful for maintaining your campaign efficiencies, but it's the combination and adding diversified assets into your campaign mix that are going to help you push back performance plateaus and get to a place of incrementality.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So with all of those, the challenges and putting everything out into market, Iqbal, as you experience this firsthand, what advice would you give to our group here?
Yeah, I mean, my advice would be don't be afraid to test. I mean, we've got a very strong brand and it's only gotten stronger and it's probably the strongest that it's been, but we're constantly testing. We're testing into UGC, we're working with Tinuiti as well as Meta to make sure that the content that we're developing works for the channel that we're on. And it's really important to do that. I mean, we, as Whitney mentioned, if we just put up our 30-second spot in all these different channels, I think we would become very quickly a boring brand, and it's important for us to stay relevant. So diversification is really important.
Definitely. So as we've been talking a lot all day about AI, machine learning, this and that, Ashley, where and what point in all of this does the human judgment still matter? Because in the orchestration era, we are the conductors.
Yes, you guys are indeed. My mind, this is an oldie but a goodie, but go with me on it. My mind always goes to the GPS analogy. With GPS, AI is analyzing a tremendous amount of data to provide you with suggested routes, but you're the driver. You are inputting your destination, you are evaluating the options, and ultimately you are making the final call. And I think the same is really true for creative automation. The better your destination that you set, the better the outcomes. And vision, taste, judgment calls are very uniquely what humans are bringing to AI. And it really grounds the work, and it keeps it feeling fresh and inspired by the brand itself, because AI is only going to be as successful as what you give it, and if you treat it as an extension of your brand vision.
Yes, so we've got orchestration, we've got GPS, we were mixing metaphors a little bit, but that's okay. As we wrap up, I want to ask each of our panelists for their key takeaway. So Iqbal, we are going to start with you.
Yeah, I mentioned the importance of diversification when it comes to creative, also just the measurement. I think the reason we're all up on this stage is we love measuring performance, right? That's why we partner with Tinuiti. It's why we love Meta, is that we can measure everything. So to lean into all of those measurement tools, and I may be one of the few people that still get into Ads Manager every week just to see how things are performing. So AI has not taken over everything yet.
All right, we'll leave it on Ashley.
Solve small and scale out. Again, I think you guys have gotten hit with so much information today, hopefully. It's a little comforting to know that if you narrow your focus to the quality of your assets and just give that stronger signal to the system, the better your outcomes will be. And it's really a bet that's going to compound over time. When you chat with our product team at Meta, their vision for the future is to really move from a world in which agencies and advertisers have to be expert in all of our tools. Again, that feels very overwhelming. To a world where Meta's AI is an expert in your business, and every impression along the customer journey is really anchored in your business goals.
I'll round it out.
Round it out, Whitney.
My advice to brands is not to be too precious about your brand guidelines. When it comes to diversification, being able to just try new things is going to really help make a big difference in your performance. And I know that is, every creative director who's listening is broken by me saying that, but consumers don't know how much leading you have between your type. They don't know how much spacing there is that's perfect. And quite frankly, they don't care. I care a lot about it, especially
niche
typography.
Reference right there.
Yeah, no one knew what I was talking about. But they're truly instead deciding when they see your content, is it authentic? Is it trustworthy? Is it relevant to me? So being able to try new things, even though it's hard to break out of that brand perfection, is really going to help make those meaningful connections with consumers when they see your content.
Well, thank you guys so much. I think this was a great discussion, and we will close it out here shortly.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.